Hello, my name is Natalie and I'm from Pestforce UK, and today I'm here to talk to you a little bit about ants. Now, there are many species of ants in the UK. We predominantly deal with just a few of them when it comes to ants causing a nuisance or a public health issue for homes and businesses. The main ones are the black garden ant, which we'll talk about more predominantly, but just wanted to mention a species that is given a wide category name of tropical ants. We've got Pharaoh's ants and ghost ants, and they all kind of form a tropical species. Now, as the name suggests, they like warm temperatures, very warm temperatures. We're talking about 25 degrees as an average, and they're internal pests only in the UK. Now, these properties that they may affect are going to be maybe blocks and buildings that are constantly under heat. So maybe communal flat areas, possibly hospitals as well, always kept very warm, and maybe even like food production in bakeries, for example, where again that temperature is very high. So you will see these ants, they're kind of an opaque creamy colour rather than black, and they're a fair bit smaller than the common ant that we see, the black garden ant. And a lot of the time they trail down a wall or maybe even horizontally across the surface or back of a skirting board. Various areas they can actually appear from. Their nests are normally within the cavities of buildings, so you very rarely can see them or come across them. It's just the worker ants that you see. Now, I need to mention these because it's really important that you don't try and treat them yourself, and certainly you should not be spraying these ants with a traditional sort of aerosol or handheld spray on where you see the workers, because what this will do, it will send a warning back to the main nest, and the multiple queens that are within that nest will split. They will take a proportion of the workers with them and split the colony as a warning, as a self-preservation kind of action, and that will just spread the issue. So you're not only got one nest still there that you haven't dealt with because you just superficially sprayed the workers, but you've got multiple because they've split and satellited their colony. So please don't spray them, get professional advice, and we can help identify them. Now back to black garden ants. I say they're pretty harmless. They're important to the ecosystem. They're in our gardens. They can be good pest controllers themselves. They can even pollinate to a degree, because if they're physically transferring their bodies over plants and flower heads and things like that, that can create a pollination process. But that's not something they do purposely, but they are part of the ecosystem. However, sometimes they do get into our businesses or our homes, and they start to cause us possibly contamination concerns, but also nuisance as well. So if that happens and you see sort of small black six-legged insects, which, black garden ant coming into your property, and you feel they need dealing with, then we have a couple of ways of being able to do that. You can purchase amateur use products at sort of a local hardware store. You can buy sprays. You can spray a black garden ant nest if you find it directly under a slab in your garden, or close to a wall side of your house, under maybe a brick or something along those. If you see that nest and you see all the eggs and a real hive of activity, then you could spray that nest directly if the product that you've got is approved for that. However, the most effective way is to use a food bait, a food gel that we put down. We have it concentrated in loose baiting ability because it's a professional use product, but you can purchase them in sort of small discs that have the bait within and sealed and safe. But it's really important that not only we use the right product, but also the product is put down in enough quantity. So if you've got a very large nest, just one station wouldn't do. If you've got a very small nest, then maybe one would do. But this is all something that needs to be assessed. So you can buy the products yourself and try to implement them, but it is always advised that you get a professional in to assess how widespread the problem is and then how prolific the treatment needs to be. So yeah, don't worry too much if you do have them. There's lots of different treatments that can happen and control mechanisms that can be placed down to be able to deal with any ant problems that you have. But just important, identify the species and then an action plan can be put together. So yeah, if you want any advice, please do get in touch with us, and also put a comment down below if you have any questions. Thanks very much.